Hello and welcome to Unwind Sessions, where right after my shift I give the highlights of my workday and hope to do so soon live with a Q&A right after. My name is Juan. I am an English, Spanish medical video remote interpreter with over 4 years of experience. Today is March 23rd, 2021. As I stated yesterday, I only worked for 5.5 hours today, so I was off for 3 hours. I had to go sit at the bank. Nothing fun really, but I needed to do that. So I'm gonna go ahead and give you the highlights of my day. And I'm sorry, I forgot to count the calls today. Um, it's been kind of a hectic day for me, so my head's a little out of it. But I'm still here and I was hoping that I would have some questions from you guys. Unfortunately, there was no questions. So let's go with my day. And I'm actually going to start with something that I forgot to tell you yesterday. Something quite unique that had never happened before. I was interpreting a um, for a gentleman. His son was on withdrawal from drugs. He said that the drug he was taking was Nikki. I tried to look up what that drug was, but I couldn't find any information on it. He the gentleman's father said that the the guy, I have no idea how old he was. I don't know. He looked old, maybe 18, 17, 20. I really don't know. But he said that his son had not slept in over 3 days and he just kept on saying random things. I actually had an opportunity to hear the random things. He said something like big circle treasure, some mountains or something like that. I don't really remember. And so I kept on interpreting for the gentleman's father because he really could not answer anything and he just said random words. And the nurse really wanted to evaluate him, but the gentleman was just not cooperating. And at the end, the nurse left and left me there with the gentleman's father and him. And so I said my goodbye. I let him know, thank you. And I just said my outro. And as soon as I said the outro and I was about to hang up, the patient just did an F bomb. He said, F you. And after that, I hung up right away. But like the gentleman's father was trying to tell him to calm down, and the call ended, and that was my last call of the day. I forgot to mention that. But I mean, I didn't think nothing of it. I thought it was funny, and I felt sorry for the guy. But this is like the type of situations that you'll never know what you're gonna get. Like the calls are just so random, and you have to be pretty much prepared for everything. Now I'm gonna tell you what happened today. Today, what I had one of my pet peeves. This does happen quite often, not so much, but it does happen. And one of my big pet peeves is a word that they use to describe a condition. This is in Spanish. They use the words mal de orín, which is like a literal translation would be evil urine. And I hate it not because of the translation evil urine or whatever, but I actually hate it because it's like such a vague condition, and the person that is saying it usually thinks that it's like they usually think that it's easily understood. But when you have been a medical interpreter or in the medical field, well, a medical interpreter, I can only say that. When you've been a medical interpreter for a while, you're gonna start to see that every time they say mal de orín, it usually means a completely different thing. So trans, I interpret it as urinary discomfort. Um, but it's so vague, and then the provider usually clarifies. But I really don't like that word because usually when the person says it, they think that they're being very clear about what they're having, but they're not. They could just say urinary discomfort, but what discomfort? Is it burning? Is it aching? Are you urinating a lot, or what's going on? And they get mad when you start asking questions sometimes because like it's very clear to them, but like I said before, it's not clear at all because mal de orin can be, of course, it's always something with the urine, but it can be something different from one person to another. And that really annoys me. I don't know why. And another thing that the lady said, that really, really annoys me as well, for MRI, MRI has, in English, it doesn't have an acronym. You actually have to say the whole thing. Magnetic resonance imaging, imagen de resonancia magnética. So I understand why they say it, because it's so long, so it's easier to say MRI. But MRI is like Spanglish, I would say, or not even Spanglish. It's just so weird, and I really don't like it. Like it just makes me cringe every time they use that. But I mean, I understand it, and I just go along with it. And I always try to let them know the imagen de resonancia magnética because that's how you're supposed to do it, and that's how you're supposed to say it. But this is like really common, and I don't like it. I don't know why. It's just like personally, I don't like it. Um, I guess I have to tolerate more that word. I don't know why I don't. Another thing that happened today is that I had a new word. Well, not a new word. I know I have heard it before. It's costochondritis. In Spanish is costocondritis. And I remember the word and I automatically remember the interpretation, but I didn't remember what that was. I actually looked it up and the provider actually explained it as well. And it turns out that it's an inflammation of the cartilage that connects the rib to the breastbone. Uh, and yeah, I mean, sometimes you're gonna remember the word and the interpretation, and you're not gonna remember what the word means, and that's fine. As long as you remember the interpretation, you can always look it up later, right? And the last thing that I experienced today is that I actually forgot how to interpret a word, how to translate a word, and it was they asked a little they asked the father of a little girl if she uh, grinded and if she grinded her teeth when she was sleeping, and I honestly I couldn't think of the word of grinding to save my life or how to say grinding the teeth. So what I actually did was that I actually described it. I told the gentleman, so does your daughter squeeze her teeth real tight and move them from side to side when she's sleeping? And the gentleman answered no. And of course, as soon as I had a moment, I researched it, and it's rechinar los dientes, and that's like so obvious of grinding the teeth, rechinar los dientes. But I mean, if you don't think this is like what I was explaining yesterday, if you don't happen to know the translation of the word, but you know what the word means, you can always describe it, and that is acceptable. It's best to describe a word than not knowing it, and it'll make you feel better as well. And that's a big, big lifesaver. That's a huge tool in the interpreter toolkit. Of course, that it's not the best, but it works, and they understand, and that's all that matters in the end is that you are able to provide an effective communication between the two parties. So that is pretty much for today. That's how my day went. Tomorrow I will not be working because I have to do some personal things and I will not be working tomorrow. So there will be no video tomorrow. The video will be on Thursday. But I will be here, like I'm telling you, every afternoon. I will keep on stressing the schedule from Monday through Friday, 6 p.m. to 6:20 p.m. Mountain Time, because I really hope that I can get this live soon. But for the time being, I'll just keep on doing it like this. And please leave your questions in the comments, and I will answer a couple of them on Thursday after my shift on the next unwind session. So just don't be shy, guys. Go ahead and leave your questions. This is new to me, and this is new to you as well. And I would really love your feedback, questions, or anything that you would like to say. I mean, you're our patrons, you're our sponsors, and you're making all of this possible. And we would like to, well, I would like to get to know you more. And if you would like to get to know me better and everyone in the team, all you have to do is just shout out and let us know. So that's pretty much it. Thank you so much for watching. Please like, subscribe if you haven't done so for more content. You already know. And don't forget to share. Happy interpreting, guys. Goodbye.